Hello and welcome to the short Vort on Vezos HaBracha and on Bereishis. It was 1968, just after the miraculous victory of 1967, the Six-Day War, and there was a government committee convening to discuss the drafting of the Bnei Yeshiva into the army. So this issue goes back for decades already. And at that meeting, one of the people said to the Rabbi Y Abramsky Zatzal, who was the representative of the Vort HaYeshivos, and said to him that, don't you see now with this victory how that it's more important to have a strong army than it is to have a strong amount of yeshiva bachrim and yeshivos. So according to Sefer Lekech Tov on the Parsha, that Rabbi Y Abramsky shocked them with his immediate response. He says, if you look at the Nachan, then people still knew a little bit more Nachan Eretz Yisrael, that when it says about the two commandments, one was Kibush Eretz Yisrael and one was about Shmiras Torah, that was commanded to Yeshua, who succeeded Moshe Rabbeinu. So the language there, it says regarding conquering the land and the seven Am, or the nations in Canaan, it says Chazak ve'amatz. But when it says about keeping Shmiras Torah, then it says Chazak ve'amatz ma'od. So which one is clearly more important to Hashem? It's the one that says ma'od, and that's talking about Shmiras Torah. Devarim ha'nichnasim l'leiv, hayotzim min ha'leiv nichnasim l'leiv. Words that come from the heart, entered in the heart, and his case was made. Bereishis bara Elokim es hashmayim v'aretz. The Gemara in Avodah Zarah says that in the future Hashem will take the Sefer Torah and say anyone who is involved with the Sefer Torah should come and take their reward. The nations of the world will come, for example, Rome will come and look at all those, say, look, we had made all these marketplaces and these bathhouses and accumulated all this wealth for the sake of Israel. And Hashem responded to them, Shotim Shabolam, Lo Kol Mash Asisem L'Sorach Atzmechem Asisem. You fools, all that you did for yourself. And then they would go away in embarrassment. And the next nation would come in, such as Persia, and then ultimately every single nation will come in and try to make this claim, but Hashem will give them the same response, that you didn't do it for Yisrael. So the Sefer Lekech Tov brings down that Rabbi Y.Z. Levy Soloveitchik, in his Kedushim on the Torah, said that people might ask, how could they lie to Hashem? Hashem knows everything. How would the nations try to deceive HaKadosh Baruch Hu? So he answers, because in reality, they did not lie. They were correct. Everything that they made was made for the Bnei Yisrael. As it said, the language is not shakranim, but it says shotim, you're fools. So how do we understand this? Just like the world from Bereishis was created b'shvil Yisrael and Araisa, but for the purpose of the Torah and the Bnei Yisrael to learn the Torah, so is every future thing that was created was really made for the purpose of Bnei Yisrael and their learning Torah. As the Rambam says, that even the fancy, there could be a fancy palace that was made, and the only reason it was created and to be in a certain spot was that one day some righteous Jew would get some shade briefly and get some respite because of the building there. And that's the whole purpose, ultimately, of why this was made. So Hashem made these things, for the Bnei Yisrael. So the almost when everything becomes clear, asid Lavoh in the future, and we'll see, this is how it worked out, that this was for the Bnei Yisrael. So the nations will come then and say, look, what we made it for the Bnei Yisrael. We should collect our reward for that. So then Hashem says, no, when you made it, you didn't know why you were making it. It's only because in heavens they caused that these things would worked out for the Bnei Yisrael that you did it. So therefore you're not worthy of getting reward. Therefore it's shotim and not shakranim. Thank you for listening. Like, share, and subscribe. Have a wonderful week and a wonderful Shabbos.